It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. You spent months building towards launch day, but when the clock hits 0, your site crashes. Bots swarm, and loyal fans rage on Reddit. That's not good. Fanfare was built to stop that. Fanfare is the drop platform made for high-pressure moments, stampede-proof infrastructure, verified waitlists, and bot filters that actually work. Instead of refunds and rage, you get retention and revenue. And that sounds great to me. Your next launch shouldn't be a gamble. Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook and learn how to bulletproof your drop at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, that's fanfare.io/playbook. Hey, I get it. You've worked really hard to build up your business, and it's doing great. So great that you need help now. The most important thing for your business is to hire the right people to support it. So how can you find amazing candidates quickly? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you stand out and hire fast. And with Sponsored Jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. And it makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, Sponsored Jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. And it's one of the largest databases of job seekers, too, giving business owners access to a wide range of candidates. And one of the things I love most about Indeed is the job alerts feature. I get notified when new candidates apply. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/smartpassive. Just go to Indeed.com/smartpassive right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/smartpassive. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need. This is the Smart Passive Income Podcast with Pat Flynn, session number 63. You got what I need, but you say he just a friend,
Welcome to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, where it's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host, who loves shopping at Target at 3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon, Pat Flynn.
Still using a copy-paste website? Break the template trap with Framer. Whether you're overwhelmed by traditional site builders or frustrated with cookie-cutter designs, Framer gives you the freedom to create a site that's professional, polished, and uniquely yours. Framer is the design-first, no-code website builder that lets anyone ship a production-ready site in minutes. It's free to start, allowing you to browse hundreds of pixel-perfect templates or even design something on your own on a totally blank canvas. Add bold animations like appear effects, text effects, parallax scrolling, scroll animations, looping animations, and much more in seconds. The built-in AI handles the heavy lifting, generating starter layouts, and can even translate your entire site to any language. Ready to build a site that looks hand-coded without hiring a developer? Launch your site for free at framer.com and use code SPI to get your first month of pro on the house. That's framer.com, promo code SPI. Framer.com, promo code SPI. Rules and restrictions may apply. Hiring shouldn't be a hassle or a drain on your budget. Upwork is your one-stop shop to find, hire, and pay top freelance talent, saving you time and keeping costs in check all in one place. Companies at every stage turn to Upwork to get things done and find more flexibility in the way that they staff key projects and initiatives by assessing a global marketplace filled with top talent in IT, web development, AI, design, administration support, marketing, and more. And I've personally used them myself and can vouch for them. Posting a job on Upwork is easy. With no cost to join, you can register, browse freelancer profiles, get help drafting a job post, or even book a consultation. From there, you connect with freelancers that get you and can easily hire them to take your business to the next level. Upwork makes the entire process easier, simpler, and more affordable with industry-low fees. Post a job today and hire tomorrow with Upwork. Visit Upwork.com right now and post your job for free. That is Upwork.com to post your job for free and connect with top talent ready to help your business grow. That's UPWORK.com, Upwork.com. Go there now. Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Pat Flynn, and welcome to the 63rd session of the Smart Passive Income Podcast. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to all the kids listening to the show right now. Yes, the kids. Since last week's episode, I randomly got like 4 or 5 emails from parents who listen to the show in their cars when their kids are in there. Maybe they're on a road trip or they're picking them up from school or something. And the parents were emailing me, thanking me for keeping the show clean because they want their kids to be able to listen to the show. And that's awesome. I mean, it's my absolute pleasure. And seriously, I mean, no offense to those of you who swear and cuss in your shows, or maybe you just do it in real life. I get it. That's fine. It can really emphasize certain points. But I have 2 kids now. I've met kids who listen to the show. I want them to be allowed to listen too. You never know. Seriously, you never know what one idea a single kid can have based on something that you say or something that they listen to that can change the world and change their world and really make a difference. So I just thought that was really cool. So to all the parents out there, my absolute pleasure, and thank you for those of you who emailed me. Now, speaking of really cool, when this post goes live, I'll actually be in the Windy City. I'm going to be in Chicago for an event called Internet Profits Live, and I'm speaking at the event. That's Profits with PH, PROPHETS, not F, and which is kind of clever. And it's always a good time to speak at these kinds of things. I'm also holding a meetup. You can go to smartpassiveincome.com/meetup at any time, really, to see where my next meetup might be, or if there's not one in the future, I haven't set one up yet. If you go to that URL, so that's smartpassiveincome.com/meetup, no space. I love doing meetups. I love meeting the fans. I love meeting people in the area who want to talk business or just want to talk whatever. That's where I met some of those kids who listen to the show in Nashville, actually. Cliff Ravenscraft and I, last week, he and I held a meetup in San Diego, my hometown, after Social Media Marketing World at a pizza joint. And about 50 people came out from, there's some people from Germany who came out who were just randomly near the area and flew in just to hang out with us. We had pizza, we had some drinks, of course, some great connections, and everybody was just meeting each other and having great conversations. It's just really cool to meet people in person sometimes. You should really try to do it if you can. Now, my featured guest today, I'm actually going to be meeting him for the first time in Chicago at this event. His name is Douglas Lynn, and I'm really excited to share his story with you because it's about a hobby blog that started that is now being monetized through a membership component. Recurring monthly income, which is sort of the holy grail of passive income. And the best part is, at least for me, it's about the hobby is a game that I used to play when I was in middle school and high school. The game is called Magic the Gathering. So I must seem like so cool right now. I mean, not only am I a bodyboarder, not a surfer, and a marching band nerd, but I played Magic the Gathering. So please don't go. Anyway, this conversation that Doug and I have brings back a lot of amazing memories for me because I was pretty hardcore about this game called Magic the Gathering. And so I try to dig really deep into how it all happened, all the ups, all the downs, and all the struggles and wins along the way. So without further delay, let's get right into the interview with Doug. He was on a phone. It was a landline phone, but it was still a phone as opposed to a Skype to Skype conversation. So the quality isn't going to be quite as good as you're used to as far as these interviews are concerned. My side sounds the same. The other side is going to be a little bit not as high quality as you're used to, but it still sounds great. So let's welcome Doug. All right, Doug, thank you so much for coming on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Pat.
I'm really excited about this interview because you are going to be talking about a particular topic or niche that was a part of my childhood, actually. So I'm really interested to kind of dive into your story. And I love every single email you've sent me has just got me really excited about this moment in time to interview you. So why don't you just start by telling the audience sort of what you do and how you got started?
Okay, well, I'll give you the semi-long story here. I run a website called quietspeculation.com with my friend Kelly Reed. It's all one word. It is a subscription-based online magazine service. So every month, people sign up and they pay basically to read articles every day and get access to a private forum and a private newsletter. But what it's about is it's about Magic the Gathering cards, which people probably have a passing familiarity with. And when I tell it to people, people still say, oh, wait, people still play that? And Magic is actually a huge industry. I sat in on Hasbro's market call. Hasbro's the publisher of Magic. And Magic is a significant part of that multi-billion-dollar company's bottom line. And we peg it at about 25 to 30%. So there's a lot of money going through Magic. It's sort of an expensive game to play, but people trade the cards around. And they buy them online and they sell them and they trade them with friends at events. And our goal with our website is we're going to tell you the upcoming financial trends, so the hot cards, the cards that are overpriced that we think you should sell. And people pay for that info just like they would if they were subscribing to The Economist or Barron's or the Wall Street Journal. People, kind of ask, well, how much money is there in trading cards? And I say that typically when you look at a card that gets hot, it can go from, let's say, 80 cents to $8 overnight based on demand. And you'll never find a stock that makes a jump that quickly. And people can make a lot of money in a short period of time if they know what they're doing. And our goal is to kind of guide them along and figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, that's so awesome. How did you come up with this? Did you play Magic yourself? And what made you and Kelly decide to, A, partner up, and also B, just start this?
Well, I have been playing Magic since I believe around 1996, which is 17 years now. And so I've played Magic for the better part of my life. So has Kelly. Kelly and I started talking about this. We met on a Magic forum because he and I were talking about when cards got really popular and how expensive they got. And he and I were the only ones who were really talking about that. So we private messaged each other. Kelly was running this blog. I think it was like quietspeculation.blogspot.com. Don't try and look at it. It's gone by now. But I had looked at it. He and I kept in touch. And we were talking more about the idea of, gee, isn't this information that people should know? And, couldn't we make a little bit of money at this on the side? So we were talking about it a little bit more. Kelly was a retail drone at Best Buy, and he didn't like it. And I was going through my second year of law school. And he and I were both looking for a fun project to do. And he was thinking about, well, what about other jobs I could get? And I told him, man, you have this blog. You get about, I think it was maybe 10 or 30,000 views a month on it, which was pretty decent traffic. And I said, that's your only equity asset. That's the only thing where when you go to bed at night, you're still making money on it, even though it was like $8 a month in Google AdWords. You're still making money on it. If you could take that, your loyal readership, the trust you've built up, we could create something really cool here. And so that's how the site got founded and started. And I believe that was in September of 2009.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. When things really picked up.
Yeah, I remember playing back when you started too in the mid-1990s, and I was obsessed with it. For those of you who don't know, Magic the Gathering is a sort of card. It's hard to explain over a podcast, but you have...
It involves... You play a dueling fearsome wizard casting powerful sorcery and summoning mighty monsters and utilizing ancient artifacts of untold power to defeat your opponent.
Yeah, exactly what Doug just said. And, it's so much fun and it's for the sort of geeky crowd. And so it's a very niched thing that you have going on here. Now, when Kelly had quietspeculation.blogspot.com, that was a free site he set up. How did he, what was he talking about on the site? How did he get 10,000 views and what was exciting for people about that site initially?
Okay, well, that's kind of ancient history, so I'm going to try and do my best to remember that. He was talking about things like... cards that were upcoming and hot, or about why is this card suddenly $12? And then he'd talk about it. You have to remember, I don't want to sound like I'm full of hubris here and say we invented Magic Finance, but we were really some of the first people talking about it in an organized place. And so people would come to that because everybody wanted to talk about it. They wanted to talk about should you rip off people in your store with trades if they don't know the prices? What's it like to be an ethical trader? If you have a 10-year-old kid who wants to trade a $100 card to you and they want a 50-cent card in return, should you take that trade? And our position has always been no, that's unethical, that's bad. But he was talking just about things. He would have a mailbag article now and then where people could write in. I think this was even like pre-Twitter being popular, if it could go that far back.
Now
so people were.
Sorry. I was just gonna. So you have this site, and you're already talking about this topic, and you told me earlier that now you have a membership site where people actually pay to read, they pay to join a forum, and they pay to get a newsletter. How did you two come together and make that switch from what I imagine was free content before with running AdSense ads, to that switch to a paid forum model, and why do you think it was successful?
Oh, well, that's the real meat of the discussion here. We switched over to quietspeculation.com, and we started running articles there. I think we launched as a WordPress site, and we got a couple other columnists who were interested in writing. And we were upfront with everybody at the beginning that, look, this is going to become a paid site somehow at some point. We need to pay writers. It is a just and noble thing to pay employees and to help people. And I hear from our writers to say, you pay for me to live the dream here. So you have to pay people. Mm-hmm. And Kelly and I were looking at the dismal returns on Google AdSense because the people who are reading it are sophisticated magic players. They understand what's an ad and what's an editorial. And they're not likely to be fooled into clicking on those one weird trick to reduce your abs by eating these berries ads. So the money for ads wasn't really there. And the amount of money you'd have to scale on it was terrible. I mean, it's so cheap to buy ads online these days, which is great for somebody who wants to buy ads. But if you're looking to make money from them, at least in our niche, I'll say that. I can only speak from our experience. At least in our niche, the money wasn't there. People weren't going to click on weird trick ads. And then we had also looked at it, so we had thought, well, we could go with a pay-what-you-want model. Mm-hmm. But we really didn't like freemium because it doesn't let you forecast a budget. If you have a content budget of X hundred or $1,000 a month, you can't really go and beat the tin can around and say you guys got to pay up.
Right.
And we had looked at other examples too. We said, well, look, the New York Times isn't managing a free site. They can't make money on ads. The New York Times cannot make money on ads. Why should we? How could we? If we get $3 for every 1,000 viewers on our site, as a niche site, we'd be looking at $30 or $60 a month. And this is just based on our experience. So we had decided to do that. We offered a low introductory rate to people who signed up in the first month, which was like $5 a month. There are people who signed up then who still paid the $5 a month it was. It's since increased to $12. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that we had based on about why a paid model would work is exclusivity. So you're paying for information that only other paying members are reading too. So people say, well, I'm going to have sort of insider information here. I'm going to have the insight loop. I'm going to have a level of analysis that other people aren't. Mm-hmm. So that kind of works in favor of it because when you have a scarce thing like that you can say, look, this is protected information, it makes it more intrinsically valuable. And then we had also looked at the success of private forums like SEObook.com. Mm-hmm. And at the time, a friend who was helping us out with setting up the page said, guys, at that time, he said it was $150 a month just to sign up for access to a forum. And I thought, man, isn't that the holy grail right there? You have all user-generated content, and all you're doing is paying to keep the riffraff out. And you're paying so much because you can get so much access to this. SEO Book is a website that's about how to maximize search engine optimization, how to get the most out of that for the listeners who don't know. It's very valuable if you're actually doing it. But if you're a keyboard jockey, you're not going to pay the $300 a month there. For us, we feel like active traders should be able to swing $3 a week. But if you're a keyboard jockey and you're not trading a whole lot, I don't know if it's the right service for you. So that's sort of the long-winded answer of how we got to charging money for this.
Right. I think it's really important that what you just said there, how you are specifically targeting a certain group of people who are willing to pay for this, and if they're not, then maybe that's not the right content for them. I think a lot of people try to get kind of everybody on board when they're trying to build a blog or trying to create a membership website or trying to get people to pay for stuff. This is something that I've learned from Ramit Sethi when he comes out with a product. He initially says, if you're in debt, I don't want you in my course. You're not the right person for this. I mean, he tells you right up front. And I think that's really important. Now, there's a few questions I have based on what you said. So first, you talk about writers and paying writers, and that's obviously a very important part of the overall strategy. Now, is that content that they're writing for people who are inside, or do you even have content free for people to view to generate more traffic and interest?
Yes, we have some free content. It's mostly about casual Magic, playing with your friends, or about strategy. We have most of our content. I feel like the stuff you're paying for is going to be financial stuff, and we're not going to make you pay for stuff that's not financial.
Okay.
So we do have a bit of free content. I think we have an article or two every day that's free. It gets a lot of people coming back, and we want to offer something to everybody who comes to the site, even if they don't pay. We do have some articles, we call them unlocked insider articles, that we offer. We make free after a while, but we don't automatically make anything free. And you'll have to apologize for the noise. It is hailing here in Ohio, and it is raining sideways.
No worries. That's cool. That makes it so real. So you have these unlocked insider articles. How much are you paying these writers? Because I know that a lot of people, there's a wide range of sort of writers that you can hire. There's these places you could sign up for where you can get articles for $5 to $12. You can get articles done on Fiverr, but then you can also find someone who would write an article for maybe $300 to $500, which is on the high end. I'm sort of interested to see how much you're paying and how that is sort of a part of the overall business plan.
We pay, we're closer to the $15 to $20 an article versus the $300 to $500 an article. I think our content budget makes up about 30% of our monthly revenue, which means it's basically that part of the expenses. We try and pay as much as possible. It's a niche site, and a lot of people are fine working, understanding that they get a free access to the site as well as money to be paid for writing articles. But we try and write as much as pay as much as we can, because when you pay more, you get more quality. Right.
And you're paying actual Magic players or people who understand the game?
Yes. And we find people because we have a brand name in the industry. So if somebody wants to write, they contact us. We have writers who've been with us since day one. And we try and make their life as comfortable as possible. And then we also offer, we're very restrictive on like free trials and things like that, but we do say you can get a free membership if you write with us. Mm-hmm. And I can talk about how we manage free trials later if you'd like.
Sure. Actually, I wanted to get into pricing really quick, because you had mentioned you initially did $5 a month sort of for the, beta testers or for the people who were in there first, and now it's $12 a month. Why 12? Where did that come from? How did you decide that?
Well, we stepped up from 5 to 9 because the original price was saying, hey, it's going to be $9 a month. With the understanding that we pay like 20 writers a month plus 3 editors. So there's a substantial overhead there, and I'm not ashamed of that. Mm. And then we bumped it up from 9 to 12 last fall, and the reason being was that we were hiring some coding people and getting some databases, because there's a huge wealth of data for Magic cards, for what price they sell for, how many they're selling for, what stores are paying for them to get their own inventory. So we raised the price with the understanding that the price is going up, but you're also getting these new program we created called Trader Tools, which shows you the average price a card is selling for and also what dealers buy it for. So if I say to you, we're trading, and I say, I'll trade you an $8 card for my $8 card, and then you look at our Trader Tools and you say, well, if I sold this to one of these big Magic internet websites right now, I could make $5 on the card you're trading me, but I could only make $3 on mine. So I'm going to take that trade even though it looks equal, because my card has a greater intrinsic resale value. Mm. And when we created Trader Tools, we had a huge surge of membership. People on Twitter and Reddit were going crazy for it. It was great. But we had increased the price with the understanding that it was going to pay for more features. It wasn't a greed grab.
Right. This was a tool that was only accessible to members, mm-hmm. Yet it was still providing market, interest.
Yeah, it would be like looking at a stock quote. And then if you looked at a stock quote for free, you'd see one level of data. And when you paid for more analysis, you'd get more analysis and more info about it. Mm-hmm. And we've always been very upfront with our price. And we say, we're kind of at the level where it's like it's paying rent and student loan debt right now. We're not making retire to Cancun money on it, but I think that we're honest with people that when the rate increases, it's because we're paying more writers, we're getting more content, and we're providing better services to people.
Right, but you are making the holy grail of online income, which is a recurring passive income through your members. Which
it is,
really
and
cool.
Our typical lifetime member length is a little under 2 years. So I look at that, I tell that to people, and they're shocked. Magic players, not other people in the industry, but it's like, look, we provide information that on average somebody wants to stay with us for 2 years and read and talk with us and learn about what we're doing.
That's huge, because I know, at least in the internet marketing industry and blogging and entrepreneurship type courses and membership sites, that the attrition rate is typically 3 months. So to have a 2-year kind of retention rate, that's huge. What are some tips you have for people to make sure that when they come into your membership site, for example, that they're going to stick around? Like, do you feel like it's just purely the content, or is there more?
Well, we have the forums, which allow, we want to let our stuff scale to the size that anybody wants to consume it at for however long. So if you want to sit at your computer all day long, we have forums and a private chat room. So you can spend as much time there as you want. If you only want to read the articles, if you only want to get our newsletters, you can do that. But the more you want to engage with us, the more we can engage back with you. And I think that gives people an ability to graduate up to it. We're also very clear when you sign up, like, these are all the benefits you get. And we started doing that because we get people who said, like, oh, I subscribed and it was 5 months before I realized you guys had a forum. That's like, well, nuts. I mean, how many people did we lose because they didn't know we had a forum where they could talk about this stuff? Mm-hmm. So we try and be really clear about all the features and benefits and encourage people to look at it.
That's cool. How, what was it always smooth sailing? Like, it sounds like it's just been a great story. You have this free site, you turn it into a paid site, members are coming in. What were some of the struggles maybe that you've had along the way? We
had some early founder problems, which I won't get into, but I'll say, like, I think that it's really worthwhile to have one partner in a business, but when you have two partners, including you, like beyond you, so a total of 3 or more people, the delegation gets to be a problem, and the responsibilities get to be a problem. And I had my great friend Jason, who I'm still great friends with, came on board. He actually knew what he was doing, and Kelly and I were kind of jokers. We were like, we have this great content idea, but I have no idea how these internets work. And Kelly and I just kept dropping the ball on things about, getting like bank accounts set up and employer ID numbers. And we were being jokers about it. And Jason finally said, like, just look, cover the expenses I've incurred. I'm going to step aside from this, which was very noble. We did not hold it against him. And I was kind of relieved, like, I don't want to ruin a friendship over my buddy and I trying to make a hobby business when my friend Jason's actually trying to be professional about this and we're screwing with him. So know your own strengths and weaknesses. I think that's what we got from that. We also deviated from the core concept a bit with what we were spending on early money on. And this is a big thing I'd say to people. Like, if you find something that works, keep investing in that and make it cooler. So we had published an ebook from a friend of mine about magic cards, and it paid for the server for a couple months, but we weren't in the ebook business. And it had nothing to do with trading and selling cards. It was about how to play a specific kind of deck in a specific kind of magic format. And yeah, we made a little bit of money on it, but on the other hand, I was fulfilling support requests every morning where somebody was saying the download link didn't work, or I didn't get this, or my payment didn't get refunded. And we decided that we were also going to publish a paper book because people were demanding it. And you always want to listen to people who are going to throw money at you. But I think we went through Lulu.com, and I had ordered 40 books. I had gotten a lot of pre-sale orders for it. So, you got to have money in the bank for these kind of things. I got pre-sale orders from it. Mm-hmm. And this is like, at the time I'm getting ready to take the bar exam, so my mind is elsewhere. I get the first edition of the books they sent me, and there are no pictures in it. So I send them back. I have to wait 2 weeks to get another set of books printed up, and I get a proof this time. And the pictures are there, but they're too dark. So we're now at 4 or 5 weeks after we had thought we'd be shipping these out, and I finally get stuff that we can actually ship out. and I'm running the post office every day to ship like 1 or 2 books. We get screwed internationally on shipping because I hadn't realized how to calculate it correctly. And it was just a big mess. I think we blew a lot of customer goodwill, and we annoyed a lot of people when we shouldn't have. We should have just said, I think your idea is great. I think you should pursue it on your own. So we lost money on that, and we lost customer capital and goodwill, which I think was a lot more damaging than losing money. But hopefully people don't hold it against us. So
the lesson there would be, just whatever your strengths are, to keep pouring money into that in your business. Whatever's working, it's working. So throw more into that. But do you think it was still worth the try? Maybe you learned something from it?
Yeah, I learned a whole lot of stuff. I think one of the things that makes a powerful entrepreneur is being able to pick up the phone and resolve problems. And I love calling people. Look, I'm a lawyer also, and so I figure half my day is leaving voicemails for people, and the other half is drafting nasty letters. But when you get people on the phone, they are inclined to say things that they would never say in email and promise things that they would never say in email. And you get problems solved real quick. So with this book thing, I learned how to pick up the phone, resolve things immediately, get stuff going. We learned how to forecast budget projections and figured out that we were going to make like a total of $18 on this whole project. We did it too late, but we figured out how to do it. I learned about engaging with customers and fulfilling orders and like just what it takes if you are selling a physical product, what it takes to ship that product every day. Mm-hmm. So we learned a lot, and it was a cheap lesson.
Yeah, I remember when I came out with my book on greenexamacademy.com for the lead exam, people were demanding a physical book, but I knew from experience, based on what other people were saying, I had the fortune to be connected with a lot of people who had done stuff like this already. They were like, no, you don't want to do a physical book. And I was like, why? People want it, and I can just go to the post office, ship it, whatever, and I can make systems and do it. But they're like, yeah, but you have to do it. That's something you can't really automate quite as much. So it was nice that I had that circle of friends who was telling me what to do or just guiding me along the way. Sometimes it just takes doing stuff and realizing, okay, this isn't the way to go. So that's really cool that you tried it and it didn't work out, and now you are not kind of going down that same route anymore.
Yeah, and my personal calculus for whether it was worth it is like, at the end of the day, like, were any women and children hurt, and do you still have all your teeth? And if both of those things are in your favor, then like, lesson learned, that's fine. We probably learned it very cheaply.
That's funny. How many members are in your site right now, are going through your site?
We are we're in the hundreds phase, not in the thousands phase.
Okay. So
I can't talk specific numbers, but
sure, no
we're
worries.
doing well as a niche site.
Right. And again, this is something you're doing on the side that could potentially grow bigger, and it is growing. But you, like you said, you are a lawyer. And so with 3 figures worth of members in there, which is really cool, all paying recurring income, which for those of you who feel like that's a small number, when you have that number happening every single month paying you, that does add up. How are you getting more people to come in? Are you advertising, or I know you said you write some content up front, which maybe draws some people in through social media or whatever, but what are you doing to expand the membership right now?
Well, we have a weekly newsletter we try and send out, and it's a free sign-up, and we have thousands of people on that, and we typically get a couple subscriptions every time we send it out. It's a real non-threatening newsletter. I brag about this to everybody. We have a 50% open rate on our newsletter with thousands of people. The industry standard is 10%.
Yep.
So when we send something out, half of people open it up no matter what it is. And the reason why I think that is we provide a valuable information to them. So we're not giving them tips, but we're giving them like cool stories to read, interesting trends in the week, maybe a game to play. And then like this real inoffensive, if you like this, there's a service for you and it's only $3 a week. Here's where you can find out more. And I think the other part of the newsletter success is that like I'm involved in telling and not selling. I'm telling, not yelling. So I have not used an exclamation point in our newsletter for 9 months.
Huh. Not even to say, hey.
Yeah, not even to do that. And I feel like the Wall Street Journal doesn't need to use that, so I'm not going to use it. And I think it resonates with people because we have maybe like 2 or 3 people unsubscribe out of the thousands that go out every week. And it's a lasting, enjoyable thing for people. and it costs nothing. Well, I guess it costs something. We use MailChimp. It costs like $30 a month to send it out, which is fine. We make that up in subscriptions, and we make it up in customer goodwill. We have done a little bit of Google AdWords. I'm humble enough to say that we don't really know enough about it to make it actually pay off for us. We're doing remarketing right now, which is so that when somebody clicks on your site, they get a little cookie from Google, and then wherever else they go, they see our ad on other sites. So it's kind of like if you've been there once, you're more inclined to go there again and learn a little bit more about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're interested in that. I can't really speak to whether it's going to work or not. We do most of our promotion has been free. We paid a disastrous amount of money for T-shirts. People shouldn't buy T-shirts for their company. I think it's pretty bad swag. It's like there's a really low expected value that you get.
That's
when
funny.
You're spending $10 or $15 for a T-shirt. And I personally, I don't wear any T-shirts that I get for free unless they're goofy ones from a thrift store. And if I wouldn't wear this, why would I want, why would I think somebody else would wear it?
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of companies, they do that. They feel like, there's two things that they have to get to market. They need business cards and T-shirts. And so you found that the T-shirts aren't really doing anything.
Yeah, they're not doing anything, and you spend a lot of money. Like we wanted to get staff T-shirts too. This is like another disastrous problem. We got polo shirts embroidered with the Quiet Speculation logo, and they looked sick, and they were awesome, but it cost like $350 to set up the embroidery jig and then get 5 or 6 shirts made. With the idea that, people are going to want to buy Quiet Spec polo shirts down the line, and like that just never works. So we had blown like several months of keeping the server alive on shirts that we don't even wear anymore. The big return on investment is stickers. We go through stickerguy.com, and they have a deal where it's like 250 stickers for $25, and the guys who run it are really rad kind of skater surfer dudes. And if you call their customer service, they're really fun to talk to. It works out about 10 cents a sticker. And the appeal for stickers with us was that people carry around trade binders full of magic cards, so they can stick this really cool-looking sticker on it. And then whenever you see somebody with that also, and you know what it is, it's kind of like a secret handshake. Like, oh, you know about that site too. It's like it's a little bit of legitimacy. Like you're not going to be a joker when we trade. You're going to be a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we get 500 stickers printed up at a time, and we go to an event, a whole weekend event. We pass out all of them in hours before. People love them, and it every time you see the name, it creates an impression in the viewer's mind where they want to come back to it. Like we want people to see the name over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's a great idea, actually. So you kind of have to think about what your audience is doing, where they are going, and how they can interact, and sort of what would indicate I think this is great for a membership site. It'd be awesome to go somewhere in any sort of, if I was a membership of any sort of niche membership site, and I go and I find someone who, I don't know, has something like if I was in the Mini Cooper Club, for example. I don't have a Mini Cooper, but I'm just speculating. If I was in a Mini Cooper sort of online community, and we got stickers or something that you put on the antenna or something, and then I drove around and I saw someone else that had the same thing, I'd be like, that guy's cool. I might go talk to him and start a conversation. And then what that does also is gets people who aren't in the group to kind of see that sticker or that antenna ball or whatever it is and be like, hey, what's that? And it can be a conversation starter where your brand can sort of be a part of that conversation.
Yeah, and it can apply to a lot of other niches. Like if you are working with like fitness things or outdoor stuff, like here's a sticker you can put on your Nalgene bottle that says like, if lost, please return to, and then it has your brand on it.
Yeah.
If you're an outdoor brand. Or like, here's a patch you can sew to your climbing harness if you're a rock climber. I know I'm talking out my butt on this stuff. I know nothing about going outside. But, it can work for other niche industries, and I think it works a lot better for niche industries than like big, goofy, standard corporations. I don't want to put a Coca-Cola sticker on my things. Yeah,
no, that's true. And I'm thinking of Steve Cam from nerdfitness.com. He has apparel, but it works for him because they wear that stuff at the gym and people are like, oh, that's cool, Nerd Fitness, what's that? And so they, that's partly how he's been able to grow. So again, it just depends on who your audience is, what they do, where they go, and how they can possibly interact with each other. So that's something that's really cool to think about when it comes to membership sites. Maybe there's some people in the audience right now, sort of the gears are turning as far as that's concerned. Now, for people who don't have membership sites yet, maybe they have a blog, there's some sort of traffic. What is maybe indicator for them that a membership site might be the right choice for them?
Well, I have looked at a lot of membership sites, and the thing that keeps recurring for me that I think that can really make money is if subscribing to this site will save you money. Because it's like just about the easiest sell to somebody. Like Geico made a fortune on a 15-minute call will save you 15% or more. Like nothing about their service, just we're going to save you money. So that's a powerful sell on its own. I think if you're running something where it's like, this is how to maintain, my wife has a Mini Cooper. Oil changes are ridiculously expensive. So like this is how you get an oil change with a Mini Cooper for $25. And if people are interested, they should email me, by the way, because I have the inside scoop on that. But if you're doing something like that where you have, this is how I can save you money at something you're already doing, I think that's a gold standard. If you have subscribers who are interested in reading journalism, like decently researched articles, maybe fiction, research pieces, I think that's good. I don't think that there's a shortcut to paid content sites where it's like, I'm just going to go on Elance and have people in another country write articles about parachuting for me. I don't think that there's a shortcut to it. Mm-hmm. But for somebody who is looking at, I would definitely say, does your blog help people save money? And if it helps them save money, then you probably have some sort of marketing pitch.
Yeah, that's a great tip, Doug. Now to finish up, because we're coming up to about 35-minute mark, which is awesome. There's been a lot of great content in here, especially getting people thinking about the membership sites. And you don't need to have that many people to have a really close-knit group and a community that is willing to pay for stuff like you were saying. Again, this isn't a huge membership site yet, and of course you have to start somewhere, but you learn as you go, and you build, and you market, and you get people to talk about you, and it just sort of becomes a part of their daily life. Like you said, I mean, I'm guessing some people do spend all day within your membership site. You said there's a private chat thing, which is really cool. What's maybe one of the coolest things that has happened since you started your membership site?
I think that it's really the ability to make a difference in the lives of our writers and the lives of our subscribers. So on the writers, I mentioned before, people are so thrilled that they get paid to talk about their favorite hobby. And
That's cool.
People say, like, you help me play my hobby for free. And with the subscribers, it's even better because when people take this information, they use it, they can make like life-changing amounts of money to where not only you're playing your game for free, but maybe you're making some money on the side. And we had one email from a guy, totally unsolicited, who said, I subscribed with like my last money I had, basically my last fun money I had last month. I love playing Magic. I didn't really even have enough money to get gas to drive around town. But at the beginning of the month, my trade binder was terrible. But at the end of the month, I probably made $1,000 from your site. He's like, I have all the gas I need. I'm making my car payments. I'm so excited. I'm going to be a member for life. And getting that is those kinds of emails. That's like the coolest part.
Yeah.
And the money's fine, but really helping people is so cool, and being able to help change people's lives is really awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're doing it through Magic the Gathering. Like, who would have thought that could happen?
Yeah, who would have thought?
That's awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. If anyone has any questions, feel free to hop on to smartpassiveincome.com/session63 to get the show notes for this and leave any comments or questions for Douglas. I mean, we could probably spend hours talking about this, especially getting deep into Magic and that sort of thing. I would, love to see how Magic going online now has maybe affected your membership site, or maybe it has helped. Because I know when I was sort of finishing up with Magic, maybe you can answer this really quick just because I'm curious. When I was finishing up with Magic, the actual physical part of it before I left college and sold my deck. Unfortunately, I told you that in an email. I sold my land destruction deck, and I sold 4 sinkholes from the revised edition, and I was like, And those of you who are like, don't know,
an unwise decision.
Yeah. So, some of you guys who are listening are like, you guys are geeks, but I shouldn't have done that. But anyway, as I was exiting Magic and going to college, Magic the Gathering online was becoming huge, and there's actually you could buy packs and buy cards and virtually have them online, like virtual currency. How does that affected sort of your business at all, and how have you responded?
Well, Kelly and I started, we call it like paper magic and online magic. So we started and deal a lot in paper magic. But Magic Online is huge. Lots and lots of people play it because it basically, you don't have to go to your hobby shop or your friend's house to play it. So it's very attractive for the convenience factor. And my father-in-law plays it, and he's like, feels a little too old to go to a hobby shop and play with 20-somethings, but he can load it up in the evenings and play and have a comfortable, fun time. And a lot of people are like that. Cards exchange much more quickly and like immediately for money. So you don't have to go out and find a trading partner and put something in the mail if you're shipping. So, but the other thing is that it's an entirely different economy than paper magic. So what we did was we went out and found experts in Magic Online, hired them, and they write and participate in our forums. And that was a brilliant move. People love reading that stuff.
That's really cool. That's awesome, Doug. Well, good move. And again, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm sure we're going to have much more to chat about later, maybe offline about Magic, and maybe I can see where I can maybe get my deck back or something. I don't know. But if people wanted to check you out, I know the website is at quietspeculation.com. And the reason it's called that is because that's an actual card that is played in the game. But where else can people go to find out more about you and Kelly? Maybe there's a Twitter handle or something where people can connect. Yeah,
our Twitter handle is quietspec. All one word. We tweet mainly about Magic stuff, but I think that you should still tweet at us anyway if you feel like it.
Yeah, say hi to @quietspec and let them know you heard this. I remember talking to Jarl Starek from entrepreneurs-journey.com. He actually got his start online talking about Magic the Gathering too, back I think in 1999, I think.
The Dark Ages.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks again so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Pat. It's been a sincere pleasure to be with you.
All right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. I want to thank Doug for being on the show. Again, you can check Doug and Kelly's site out at quietspeculation.com. The whole Magic the Gathering thing, and it's just a very cool story. Lots of really cool little gold nuggets in this episode, and I hope it inspires some of you who, maybe you have a hobby and you want to explore the possibilities of monetizing it. This is a great episode for you. You might also want to check out session number 37, which is a success story with Lane Amon, who is now making six figures in the scrapbooking industry. The scrapbooking industry. Yes, it's insane. So check that out if you haven't already. As always, the show notes are located at smartpassiveincome.com/session63. And until session 64, please stay safe. I can't wait to bring you the next episode next week. And also, one quick call to action. If you haven't done so already, I would appreciate it so much if you left a review, an honest review on iTunes for this show. A rating from 1 to 5 stars and a review to go along with it. Hopefully, if you made it this far, you enjoy the show. But if not, or if you have something, some constructive criticism for me, I always welcome respectful, constructive criticism. So, give it to me. I want to know what you feel. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Your reviews and ratings really help the rankings of the show. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. Cheers. I wish you nothing but the best. I'll see you in 64. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast at www.smartpassiveincome.com.
More people dream about building their own business and being their own boss rather than retiring early. But a majority of them never even take the first steps to register the business. Why? Because starting a business can feel overwhelming. With legal forms, paperwork, finances, it's a lot. And that's where Taylor Brands comes in. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal and business assets separate from day one. And from there, you can get access to everything you need to get off the ground, from legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, our listeners get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. Just head to tailorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Tailor Brands. I get it. You want to grow your business, but selling at scale feels overwhelming. You're drowning in complicated funnels, creating different lead magnets, or constantly posting on social media. And that gets exhausting fast, especially when you're trying to sell to hundreds or thousands of people. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? A score app quiz or assessment asks your audience key questions and gives them instant personalized results based on their answers. Your audience gets to know where they are now and shows them the steps they need to hit their goals. You can set up a quiz in minutes using Score App's templates and have a powerful lead magnet that'll do the selling for you. The best part is your audience actually wants to take this quiz, and you build huge amounts of trust before you even make a single offer. No hard sales, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. Just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI.